Start the recording. All right, I will call the March 16th meeting to order. Roll call vote, Bob Pease, Richard Bursch present, Patricia Adams, Katie Childs.
Here.
Jack Rabbit.
Here.
Jeff Viviano, Mike LaRouche.
Here.
In accordance with the requirements of the open meeting law, please be advised that this meeting is being audio video recorded. The agenda lists all the topics which may be discussed at the meeting and are those reasonably anticipated by the chair. Votes may be taken as a result of these discussions. Not all items listed may in fact be discussed, and other items not listed may also be brought up for discussion to the extent permitted in the open meeting law. Please address all comments to the chair. This meeting of the Conservation Commission will be held by Zoom at the link provided. At this point, I'm not going to read the rest because it's not being broadcast. And we will start with public comment. Any public comment from commissioners?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Okay, if I could make three very quick ones. A number of us members are up for review again every 3 years to get reappointed. I just want to make sure that folks, as much as some of them might have prayed otherwise, I plan on coming back unless I'm not appointed.
Okay, you are up for appointment this year, and who are the other two members?
One of them was Todd, so I'm thinking that's Jeff now.
Okay, yeah.
And who's the other one? Who was the other one? Oh, I'd have to go take a look. All I saw was the memo to me announcing that I had been, that was 3 years ago. So I'm planning on coming back.
Okay.
And we need to hear Jeff. Okay, and the other thing is today I forwarded some information with regard to Matt to two concerns. And I believe I carbon copied you, Mr. Chairman. And just a question, Matt, is that now public record once I've sent it in?
Yes, Jack.
It is?
Yes, Jack.
Okay, so I can't get in trouble. Okay. And the other.
Well, Jack, it's not on the agenda, so I wouldn't talk about the properties right now until I've had a chance to investigate, please.
Right. Just that I've submitted some stuff. Okay.
Thank you.
And the last thing was, Mr. Chairman or Matt, might you be able to share with us with regard to your retirement schedule? And I know based on our conversation, you might want to share it with the other members, Matt.
Jack, my retirement's May 31st and the job has been advertised, and I'll be right back. I have to kind of take a break.
Okay. Oh, I'm gonna miss you, Matt. That's it, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions or comments from commissioners or public comment? Any comments from the public? Okay, seeing no hands, we'll move on to the first agenda item. Pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40 is amended.
Jack, I noticed you guys stopped talking. You're not waiting for me to get back, right?
No, we're just telling you we're gonna miss you no matter what.
I'm sorry, what was that? You cut out.
We're gonna miss you no matter what.
Thank you. I'll be right back.
You're a good man.
Okay, moving forward with our public hearings pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40 is amended, the Lunenburg Wetlands bylaw and regulations as listed in Chapter 239. Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on a notice of intent by William Emke for work at 445 Townsend Harbor Road for the replacement of railroad tie steps in a timber retaining wall within the buffer zone. I'm talking with Matt this afternoon and looking online, there is still no DEP number listed for this project. So given that,
Wow.
I will accept a motion to continue to April 6th.
So
So moved.
moved. Second.
We have a motion by Katie and a second by Mike.
I think it's the other way around, but it's all right.
Okay, motion by Mike, second by Katie. Any other discussion? Roll call vote. Richard Bursch, aye. Mike LaRouche,
Aye.
Katie Childs,
Aye.
Jack Rabbit.
Aye.
I'm just making a note here just for Matt.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Rabbit.
could we ask Matt to see if they've cashed Bill Emke's check?
I believe he has been in contact and they're just trying to figure out what the holdup is.
Yeah. Because once they cash the check, they kind of have an obligation to move it.
Yeah, I think the public office is open too now, so you can always run down to Worcester and just say, hey, here's my canceled check, where's my number?
Yeah.
Okay, moving forward. Okay, well, where Matt's not here, I'm gonna run down. Bob was our liaison with the Open Space Committee, and he has resigned. So if everybody wants to think about throwing their hat in, we do have a liaison position on the Open Space Committee available.
Mhm.
But at this point where Jeff and Patty aren't here, don't want to go any further as far as filling that vacancy until they both are aware of it. And I think Bob says they meet probably once every other month or so. So it's not a high time that you have to put into it.
Right. Mr. Chairman, in terms of the committee as well, there's some changes. Brendan Kibbe is going to be stepping back as chairman. And Paula will be leaving the committee because of her other obligations specific to being a town employee.
And was she a liaison from planning board or was she
Yes.
on ad?
Yeah.
Okay, at large.
And she's leaving planning board as well.
So there'll be another vacancy, well, it'll be the planning board vacancy. So,
Yeah.
okay. Mr. Kutarnia.
Yes, I'm right here.
Yeah, what are you here this evening for?
Bringing you up to date, okay, and what we've been doing regarding the driveway and, the encroachment on the conservation land.
Okay. There, what was the driveway, the location?
192 Townsend Harbor Road.
Okay. Now we'll just wait for Matt for a second on
Okay.
that. I know Matt's had some emails back and forth with Amy Submergent on 190 Peninsula Drive as far as trying to get a tree plan from her for the replacement of the trees they took down.
So Jack, you keeping a good eye on that dam?
I'm always watching the water level.
I bet.
It's in my blood now, I think.
I think forever. In fact, we'll always associate the dam with you. So,
Right, and I'm gonna jump around quick. Jack, Mike, and Katie, have you had a chance to take a look at the timber harvest bids that we received on the Hollis Road and the Northfield Road properties?
no.
I have not.
All right, we did get 3 bids, and they are up on the cloud.
Okay.
And the forester is recommending that, of course, we go with the highest bid. Unless we have an overwhelming reason not to, we're kind of bound to go with the highest bid,
Mhm.
which is King Farms. So that's his recommendation. And I myself am in favor of ratifying his decision. His only recommendation was that it's very wet over on Northfield Road. So they're gonna hold off until such time as it's dried out in May or June to get in there to start doing the harvesting.
Yeah.
So, but we did get 3 bids and King was by far the highest. So at this point, I'll accept a motion to ratify the decision of the forester to go with the highest bid.
Were there any other variables in there, Rich, besides price?
No, I
real-
mean, it was a clear contract with the wood that had been marked by the forester on the properties.
Yeah.
So they were just bidding on the price of the wood and clearing out the the main areas for the staging of the material as they cut it down.
Right. Was there any, did we create specifications at all, or are we, with regard?
Yes, the forester had a full contract, the full
Okay, and
bid
they
package.
applied to all of them, great.
Yep.
All you can
Yeah,
do.
and it's his responsibility. I mean, he gets paid to make sure that they follow all tenets of the bid, and he writes up the contracts, just like we had over on Small Town.
Okay, I'll say so moved.
Okay. I have a
Second.
motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Roll call vote. Mike LaRouche,
Aye.
Jack Rabbit,
Aye.
Katie Childs,
Aye.
and I for myself. So he will write up the contracts and get the contract signed. Where it's an extended period of time, he's only recommending that they put forth $1,000 as a hold on the deposit on the contract, and then make full payments at such time when they can start, once it dries out.
Richard, is that coming out of our funds, the $1,000 deposit?
No, it's the other way around. They pay us.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
so I think that the two contracts ended up being a total of about $26,000.
okay,
So they have to pay a deposit when they sign the contract.
okay.
So, and I believe they're winning bids. I can look it up exactly here. Where was it? So Hollis Road was $6,041. And Northfield Road was 20. And clearing for the parking area. Then once it's done, then we can go forth with developing the parking area and the trail maps and things like that.
Excellent.
Yep. And we do have one enforcement order. I think it was brought to our attention by Jeff at the last meeting. Is it Fire Road 16?
Yeah. McGurn property?
Yep, yeah. Is anybody here for 238 Fire Road 16? All righty, I had just added two people out of the waiting room. Are either of you here for 238 Fire Road 16? Okay, I'm not sure. All right, I think this is part of that. Okay, so this is Matt's enforcement order, extension of cutting along water's edge within 30-foot no-touch zone as defined in section 10.5 of Lunenburg Wetland Protection Regulation. Failure to come forward with changes to cutting plan is required in Lunenburg Wetland Protection Bylaw. Failure to come forward with a change of scope of work as defined in DEP. Order of conditions 1189. So this property here is unique in that it is operating under an order of conditions granted by the Conservation Commission under our authority of the Lunenburg Protective Bylaw. And they're also operating under an order of conditions issued by DEP as a superseding order of conditions when we denied the project. So Matt went out, they're in violation of our order of conditions. They're also in violation of the state's order of conditions. So he has notified DEP of the violation.
Yeah, Rich, I did speak to Gary Domain.
There's Matt.
Yep, I did speak to Gary Domain. Gary is gonna try to get down to the site, take a look. He's supposed to get in contact with me when he's available.
Okay.
Also,
And
the Endangered Species Program, I also notified them because it is a rare and endangered species habitat. Turns out they had already known about it because they received the phone call. They're supposed to get in contact with me just to get a summary of what's happening. I haven't heard from them yet. And if I don't hear from them by, tomorrow, I'll contact them on Monday.
okay, and one more call. Is anyone here for 238 Fire Road 16? Just raise your hand or speak up. All right, seeing none. Matt, as we were discussing, your recommendation on the enforcement order is to have them present a plan from their engineer showing all of the incursions and variations from the order of conditions.
Yep, that is correct. I would like you to notice that we do have an abutter that has her hand raised.
I was gonna call on her after you were done speaking.
Okay, but yeah, the enforcement order calls for the areas of cutting that were outside the order of conditions to be noted on a plan. I've also sent a copy of the enforcement order over to David Ross, over to Dan Wolf, because they were the ones that drew the plan, and also to Brian Butler, because he's going to have to address anything that the Endangered Species Program may want to know.
Okay. And I see Leah's hand up, but I don't see that she is connected. Her audio is connected.
It says Leah is connecting to audio.
Okay. I think her phone is here.
Is that the 551?
All right, well, she's connecting. And we can come back to this where it's not a hearing on the enforcement order. Matt, the gentleman is here from 192 Townsend Harbor Road to bring us up to date on his driveway.
Okay.
Jack, if you want to bring us up to date.
Sure. Been busy trying to get things rolling here. Most recently, now the weather is improving, I have a dumpster lined up for tomorrow. There's quite a few wooden pallets I'm getting rid of, and some other material. I still have a couple hours to move. We moved the boats out of the way last fall, so that's been accomplished. The next big thing that we're working on right this minute is working on the driveway itself. Talked with the contractor, among other people, and trying to find out what we have to do. And the contractor is going to be submitting a plan, hopefully within the next couple of weeks, for the driveway, removal of the section that's on conservation land, and also moving it over, towards the left of my house, to come in compliance. So obviously the intent is to come into a compliance as soon as possible. And like I said at the beginning of the meeting, was that I'm here to give you an update and answer any questions that you might have.
All right, I thank you for coming forward with this and trying to adjust the problem that we have down there. I would ask if you know who the contractor is.
Matt Crock.
Okay, just to have him contact Matt, because I think have Matt contact Matt Morrow, our agent, because I believe Matt, in removing or doing any earthwork down on this site, they will need an RDA, as they are within the 100-foot buffer zone. Is that correct, Matt?
Yeah, you can have them either do the RDA, or as this is actually an enforcement action through town council, you can do it that way too. It's up to you guys, however you want to approach it. You do have the option.
I'll get in touch with Matt Proctor and ask him to give Matt a call. Is that
Okay.
with you, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, myself, I don't know how the other three members feel. I'd like to see this just filed as an RDA, so it is, that there is an active application.
Yeah, I mean, Matt Proctor's done enough of these now where he's familiar with the process, so
Yep.
it shouldn't be difficult.
Okay, yeah, I mean, it just let your butters know what you're doing, and it's a nominal fee and a quick hearing, and away we go. Then we're all on the same page. So if you
Okay.
if you have him contact Matt, when we can get going and get this fixed.
Yeah. Obviously, our intent is to try and get it done as quick as possible.
Okay,
I don't know if we're gonna make the 60-day timeframe, okay, that was given to us. And it sounds like there's quite a few different things that are involved, okay, including you mentioned earlier in the meeting, DPE number, I think it was, that's required also, and that takes time, I guess.
Well, if you do the determination process, Jack, you won't need a DEP number.
Oh, okay.
yep, yeah,
It
the
was similar
application
to
I
when-
recommend, the application I recommended was just a simple application through the town. There's no state notification for it,
Okay.
so.
And the thing too is, Jack, you've done this before. You may recall when you did your steps for your dock across the street. It's
Yeah.
the same process.
Okay. Yeah. No problem. And all right, should I stop up to see Matt? To drop off a check or something for that?
It's 65 bucks made out to the town. If you want to drop it off, great. You can mail it. I mean,
Okay. All right. Now, what I'll do is a couple days, let's see, today's what, Wednesday? Early next week, okay?
yeah, that's fine.
I'll write a check and I'll just drop it off at your office.
In the
You're not
meantime,
there.
I'll talk to Matt Proctor.
Okay. Do you want to call him directly? You want me to get in touch with him first?
Well,
Come
it probably should come from you because he's your client, and then have him,
Okay.
ask him to contact me.
Okay, will do.
All right, well, I thank you very much, Jack, for bringing us up to date, and just work with our agent, Matt Morrow, and your contractor, Matt Proctor, and we should be able to get this cleaned up. And I mean, if there's weather issues and things like that, we have the power to move to 60 days if needed, so.
Okay.
Hey, Rich,
Yes, Matt.
did you note in the file, there was a response by email to the letter from 214 Townsend Harbor? It's on the cloud in the folder, the email. They've pledged to get all their material out by May 3rd.
All right, notice, so this is for 214 Doherty. I received a letter March 4th. I will take care of the 3 items by Tuesday, May 3rd. The only thing I would ask, Matt, if you could just follow up with her on or about May 3rd and just document it.
Yep, not a problem.
That way there, we can have it memorialized and have a closure letter sent.
If I could just interrupt, are we all set now?
We are all set for today, Jack, yes.
Beautiful. Okay, thank you very much for your help. Understanding.
Have a great evening.
You too.
Stay
Bye-bye.
warm, Jack. Bye-bye.
And those letters are on the cloud for members that want to read them. There are 5 encroachment letters. So far, we do have written response from 1 and a personal response from the 2nd. So those are moving forward. Jack, I take it, Matt, I take it the other 4 are all on the encroachment. So 214, I read that one. And you've heard nothing from 240 Townsend, 104 Woodland, and 116 Woodland.
I've heard nothing yet. No.
Okay. Update on maintenance work at Hollis Road.
The plumbing issues have been resolved. And the issues with the mice have also been resolved. At this point, we're going to be looking into contractors for the windows,
Okay.
but those issues have been resolved.
And I still don't see Leah connected through audio yet.
Well, I can tell you, Rich,
Yeah,
one of the things that Leah had noted, if she can't connect to audio, is that, you know, when it comes to the replanting plan, she feels strongly that having a coniferous mix involved is important due to the fact that the area does have there is a component for a turtle habitat there, but there's also the component for, you know, the bald eagle. Bald eagle nests in that area. So they use conifer trees a lot for both nesting and basically as throughways where they land for feeding.
okay, and this is on a remediation
On the remediation,
for 238, okay.
that's correct. That's what she was commenting on.
Yeah, if you are working with them, Matt, my only suggestion would be to have them start their remediation plan with at least whatever was in the area that was disturbed. So trees, shrubs, whatever, like, should be put back in kind. And then we can always go from there, but that would be my suggestion, that they come back with a plan showing their encroachment and remediation of the areas.
I did speak to Central Mass Landscape, who's going to be doing the plantings
Mhm,
and is writing up the final planting plan for it.
mhm.
They weren't aware of the violation, so they're going to get together with the landowner and talk to them about the replanting. So,
Okay.
I mean, it's going to take, they're going to have to appear at the next meeting.
Yep.
So it's going to take them writing up a plan, having us look at it. I mean, I know that a lot of us have a base knowledge of what was there to begin with. So we're gonna have to take a look at what they're proposing for replacement. You know,
Okay.
some of it was in the 30-foot no-touch zone, so we're gonna have to take what they propose for density into account as well.
Okay.
Matt?
Uh,
Oh, sorry,
seeing-
Mr. Chairman?
Seeing as how this was quite a contentious application to begin with, I'm pretty sure that they're well aware of their encroachment into the 30-foot would not be looked at kindly. Have they been issued a cease and desist on this project until this has been remediated, taken care of, or how are you recommending we handle the violation itself?
Well, the majority of the base groundwork has been done. So the only thing they're doing in that area is making sure that the erosion protection is up to snuff. I went out there and looked to make sure that everything was in its proper place. It was. There's some areas that I asked them to move up because it was placed farther back. Supposed to follow up with that next week to make sure it's been moved. In the meantime, they're working on the actual house structure. So at this point, there's really nothing to cease and desist on for groundwork wise. I did check out the crossing that we approved. That appears to have been built in accordance with the order of conditions. It looks like they've done a good job. But again, I've asked for the adjustments on the plan. So
Okay.
I know that that is in motion.
All right, I'm just gonna go back for a second. You said that their erosion protection was not in place properly?
The erosion protection was in place. And then what happened was there was one particular pine that had fallen and they asked if they could go in and remove it. So they did. And in doing so, they damaged the erosion protection. So what I had them do was I asked them to put it back up. When I went back out there, what had happened was the erosion protection had actually been placed back to the limit of where they cut instead of up to the limit of where the cutting was approved on the plan. So I asked them to account for that in the same way. So again, I'm due to go back up next week to make sure that that part's been done.
Okay. And they asked to take this tree out during the application process or afterwards?
Now, that was afterwards.
Okay. Mr. Rabbit,
I have just two questions. First of all, hey, Matt, I have an extensive photographic library of this particular piece of property. If you'd
Yes,
like
you
to-
do.
And if you'd like, I can send it over to you and help you take a look at what we lost. The other question was, in the last meeting, it indicated by Jeff that it had actually been pushed over. The pine had been pushed over into the lake.
Was it pushed? I wasn't
Yeah,
sure. Whether it pushed
he
or fell.
indicated, because essentially there were all sorts of teeth marks on the side of the tree. So it was indicated that it hadn't really fallen over, and I'd be interested to see what went on there. I'm also concerned that if we could take a look at that driveway to make sure that they lived within the conformity, I believe something like 10 feet and a couple feet in each side, and see if any additional trees had been taken out or had been regraded differently. Did you get a chance to look at that, Matt, at all? Or
I looked at the driveway. The driveway appeared to be compliant, but you know what? Couldn't hurt to have the engineer look at it.
yeah, if you'd like, I'll certainly can come down and take a look with you if you go. But yeah, I will send that library over to you of stuff. We have videos as well as still pictures. So I will, if that would be appropriate.
I mean, if they're gonna go out and do new plans and do shooting on the area that was done, there's no reason why they couldn't add in the shots of the driveway
Yeah, yeah.
so we can compare to what was out there.
Okay, I'll send it all and appreciate your staying with that. That's a good job. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, to date, they've been cooperative, so I don't see it going the other way.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Leah, I see you have your audio hooked up.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
No problem. What was your comment?
It's Zoom.
I assume this is on 238 Fire Road 16?
Yeah, I just
Okay.
wanted to say that the cutting or clearing appears to be ongoing. I haven't seen it stop, including today. Going down the peninsula past the construction.
All right. Matt, is that something you can take a quick look at?
Yeah, I'll double check it tomorrow.
Okay. By down the peninsula, you mean further out towards the end of the peninsula or the driveway
Yes.
out to the house location? Okay.
Towards the dam,
Okay.
at the end of the peninsula of the dam.
Okay. Yeah, and at least try to determine how much clearing is left out there, Matt. I know they had a little bit of cleanup they were supposed to be doing of the old concrete foundations that had been grown back in. But I wasn't aware of much clearing that needed to be done past the foundation of the
No,
house.
we were pretty specific with the cutting. When I was up there at the end of last week,
Yeah.
there wasn't anything else that was cut.
Mm-hmm.
You know, outside of the order, other than the area that I cited.
Yeah.
But you know, I'll go up and double check it.
Okay, I might suggest, and the other members can feel free to chime in, that if they are in violation and further clearing, that they are issued a cease and desist for all clearing until such time as we can get a handle on this.
I would second that motion. I would
Mike,
move.
Katie?
How about I would move? I move that we do initiate a cease and desist if they're outside of the bounds of our specifications.
Okay, we have a motion.
Second.
I said,
Okay, roll call vote. Katie Childs,
Aye.
Mike LaRouche,
aye.
Jack Rabbit,
Aye.
Richard Bursch, aye for myself. So, all right, Matt, if you do get out there tomorrow and it does seem that they are outside of the scope clearing, to ask them to stop clearing all work until such time as we can get a handle on this.
And Mr. Chairman, would that include cease and desist on the entire project as well as the construction on the house?
Myself, I would be happy with just having them stop doing any more clearing or land work. If they're building on the house, that's on the foundation, that's fine.
Well, I would draw the commission's attention to the enforcement order.
Mm-hmm.
Section C does have a cease and desist component checked off, telling them that they can't do any other work that affects the buffer zone or any other areas. So areas that were outside of the limits of our approval already have a cease and desist notice on it. So I can simply reinforce that.
Okay, if you can, that would be great.
Yeah, if you look, I believe it's, hold on one sec.
No, that's fine. We trust you.
Yeah.
We'll let you check it out in the morning. So, All right, moving forward, Matt, you want to just bring us up on the other 5 enforcements? If there's been any movement on them?
Okay, so 23 Cove Road, now that spring's coming, I am going to be getting together with the homeowner to talk about further, remedial work on the property. We were going to be doing some work with DPW, but unfortunately our DPW super has left us and gone back home to his former community in Gardner. He's now working there as the chief engineer. So I got to get together with the owner on that. 48 Oak Ridge, there's been no movement. I'll contact Adam Costa to talk to him about that. 441 Townsend Harbor.
I think we have Nick here.
Nick is here, and I do believe that he's going to file the amendment to the order of conditions for the April 6th meeting. I talked to Jack Maloney about that, so they're going to be working on that. And Nick has already started his remedial work on the roof, or at least he was going to. He did take the modified building permit out for that. So that is a go. And that actually winds up complying with our enforcement order. 615 Townsend Street. I reviewed the situation with Casey. Finally, we were able to get together, and there does seem to be an earth removal component that's going to be required. So Casey is going to meet with the homeowner to talk to him about proper permitting and any remedial work that's involved. I've also found out subsequently that the owner is apparently marketing the property for sale. It may actually have a potential buyer. So any type of enforcement action that we have on that would have to be disclosed to anybody buying the property. Let's see, what else do we have? 238 Fire Road 16. We've already gone over and started the process on that. And I don't know if Amy is here for 190 Peninsula Drive. Because I seem to recall receiving something from Amy this evening.
Jack, you have your hand up?
Yeah, just a question. Has the planning board been involved with this at all in terms of the 615 Townsend Street, excuse me, Townsend Street
Who?
Planning Board? Because they're the ones that would be issuing the permits for the gravel pit they've got going there, right?
Nope. I believe that's the selectman.
That's the selectman.
Okay. I believe that they have to issue, the planning board does issue the permit. And if not, they're in violation of our own town wetlands, not our wetlands, the stormwater approval process.
Yeah, that'll probably have to be taken into account too. I've already discussed that part with Adam.
Okay, that's fine,
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, thank you.
Do we have a written enforcement order, Matt, on 615 Townsend Street?
Yeah, I don't have it up on the cloud, but we do have a written enforcement order.
Okay, so there is one that has been presented to them. So there is,
Yes.
the violation is noted.
Yeah.
All right.
Mr. Chairman? Mr.
Yes.
Chairman? Okay, does the enforcement order call for a cease and desist with regard to the graveling operations until such time that they are approved? Will it?
No, it was for a stabilization order. So the earth removal permit portion of it, as I had just stated, Casey is going to converse directly with the homeowner because it looks like there's going to be multiple cease and desists on it. Because
Okay.
Casey's going to have to issue a cease and desist under the earth removal bylaw.
Yeah. I think we have to
Okay.
move on this pretty aggressively, otherwise, where we've been notified by the owner of the property that's been the recipient of the overflow. They've got a lawyer and they've formally notified us with regard to that. So I think I'd move quickly, you know what I mean? And avoid that whole potential mess.
Okay, yeah, at this point, I think the person with the biggest stick is going to be the code enforcement officer, the building inspector.
Okay,
So he can get out there, and then Matt can probably give us a report on April 6th as to how that's progressing.
okay.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
And Matt, you said you thought you got something from 190 Peninsula Drive?
Yeah, she said something in an email about basing her proposal. I had quoted her the regulations
Yep.
on the cutting within the 30-foot no touch zone and told her she should base a narrative off those regulations. I did receive an email from her this afternoon saying that she understands, thanking me for the details, and she's based her proposal on that info.
Great.
So
And
I'm
she's gonna
assuming
present
that
it on the 6th?
I'm assuming that she's going to present it on the 6th. Yes.
Okey doke. Okay, moving forward, Bob's not here for trails grants. Any certificate of compliance applications, Matt?
Not today.
Extension permits,
Not today.
committee reports. I did bring everybody up to speed on Bob stepping down as a liaison to the open space, so there is an open seat. Administrators report action items, open space and land and trail use issues and strategies. Anything else to add, Matt?
No, there's nothing this time.
Okay, Jack, you have your hand up?
Yeah, just that we do have a stormwater meeting tomorrow night, and I believe that the big highlight is going to be essentially the review by the consultants with regard to our progress on meeting our MS4 requirements for last year and the successes they've had. Additionally, we'll be working on website and communications in terms of looking at supporting a long-term stormwater utility strategy. So that's the excitement there.
Okay, and I see Nick has his hand up.
Yeah, just a quick question. I don't know if you guys can put it on your agenda to go down there. So when Jack, when we gave you the proposal on the whole tree process or whatever for the railroad ties, when you look at the plan, there's another tree there that he didn't even list. Like it's actually there, but he didn't even like say it was there. And there's other trees that we're not taking down that he actually listed. That was another tree. I mean, if you guys want to walk down there, I mean, I'm not gonna do that whole, I'm not gonna redo the beach area anytime soon until the house is at least up. But if you
Okay.
guys go down there and take a peek at them, that way we're all on the same page. I'd rather everybody be on the same page so we know what we're doing.
All right, can you just make sure that Jack updates his plan so it's accurate to what you think is going to be happening on the site? And we can schedule it for a site walk on Saturday, the 2nd or 3rd of April.
Okay.
So I guess it would be April 2nd. We can do a site walk that Saturday.
You know, if it's going to be on the meeting for an amendment, you know, it would fall regular course to our site inspections.
Yep.
We have I think 2 or 3 new hearings coming up and 1 amendment request as it is. So this will be a 2nd amendment request.
Okay, yep. So if you can just make sure, Nick, that Jack has that plan up to date and accurate and submitted, so we can have it with us when we go on a site walk, and Matt will let you know what time on Saturday we'll be there.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, can we clarify that it's not Jack Rabbit?
Yes, Jack Maloney, the
Yeah.
engineer,
Okay, thank you.
not Jack Rabbit, the
No,
commissioner.
I don't want to get involved in that. Not that we don't.
All
look
right. Anything else moving forward? Any other communications, Matt?
Not at this time.
All right, any public comment from commissioners? Any public comment from the public? Seeing none, I will accept a motion to adjourn with our next meeting being held by Zoom, April 6th.
So moved.
A motion by Mike, second by Katie, roll call vote. Katie Childs,
Aye.
Mike LaRouche,
Aye.
Jack Rabbit,
Hi.
and I for myself. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a good evening.
Okay, Mr.
Thank
Chairman,
you.
46 minutes, 46 minutes. Good job.
Well, Matt helped out a lot by not putting any new hearings on, so I can't take all the credit.
Well, I think you said he helped by disappearing for a little bit.
That too.